about 1985, my friends and I would go to the wrestling shows in Lubbock, Texas. This is World Class Championship Wrestling days. And we were there, and the main event that night was Michael P.S. Hayes and Steve Dr. Death Williams. Dr. Death won that night. The lights come up. It's the end of the show. And a fan went to the ring, and Michael Hayes, who was still on the outside of the ring, Dr. Death is in the center of the ring, confronted Michael Hayes, pushed him. Got physical. It became a physical altercation, to which Michael Hayes grabbed the fan, tossed him into the ring with Dr. Death Williams. And then Michael Hayes also jumped in the ring, despite having just lost a match to said Dr. Death. And the two of them together started pummeling this poor fan who was dumb or maybe drunk enough to incite violence with two people who were twice the size of him. The fan reaction as people were leaving was pretty extreme, yelling, booing at this fan who had done this. My friend and I sort of rushed down to the floor just as he was being arrested. And as they're arresting him, the blood was coming from nose to waist. I think he even had a couple of cuts from the eye, etc. I don't think he was in the ring for probably more than 20 seconds, but Michael Hayes and Dr. Death did a real number on this fan.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a fan encounter in the ring yet on this podcast of where the wrestlers just beat the shit out of the fans. And what makes it a little more special is that it's in the Wild West of professional wrestling, World Class Championship Wrestling, the territories, those days where just kind of anything happened. There were no guardrails. It was just a string, much like the exact artwork from this podcast. So people could, did, and would go into the ring at their leisure if they were drunk enough. And these wrestlers, I feel that's a thing when I got into wrestling in 99 that was still around. Like, wrestlers couldn't wait for fans to cross some kind of imaginary line so they could punch them and hurt them. I feel that's going away a little bit, but I think it's still there. Wrestlers feel that they're just allowed to beat the fuck out of people if they get engaged. But the whole job is to get the fan engaged. I think it's a weird line. But listen, in the 80s, it was anything went, and anything went when it's Michael Hayes and Steve Williams, two guys who were just maniacs in and out of the ring. So I'm not surprised. I do appreciate that they were wrestling against each other and keeping kayfabe as much as they possibly could, probably outside of the ring in real life. But when it came to a fight from a fan, Michael Hayes threw the fan into the man he knew would deal out the most punishment, Steve Dr. Death Williams. And then Michael Hayes was like, yeah, okay, well, I'll jump in on this too. Sure, we're enemies, but we now have a common enemy, this fan who bought a ticket and loved wrestling. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.